Hey guys, welcome to the George Jett Show. Tonight I have a very, very special guest, Mr. Luis Cabrera, also known as Mr. Breezy Beat MC, right here from Miami. Breezy, wow, man. What a pleasure to have you on. You make my life easy, man.
How so?
You know why you make my life easy? You have
Why?
one of those hits that everyone in South Florida knows about. Everyone. Not only South Florida, it's gone, nationwide. Here's a little cut of the song before we even start.
Hey, listen up to me one time. I'm sure you'll agree to what this rhyme says. States what it means, the effect that it makes on the hip hop scene. Breezy Beat MC, that is me. Ranked number one in poetry. Known to have great lyric potential. Live in Miami, which is essential to be different at this thing. You'll find it interesting. Now I'm close to reaching the point, so step to the side. Let me shake the joint.
So that was Shake the Joint by Breezy Beat MC. We have Mr. Breezy Beat MC. What's up?
What's happening? How you been, George? Thank you for having me on your show. It's an honor. It's a privilege. I've followed your work now for quite a bit, and I don't know if your fans know it, but you were actually in a movie that I was in. You were my DJ at an event that was filmed and actually made it onto this movie called The Bass That Ate Miami, uh, documentary on Miami bass music. So I don't know if anybody knows about that, but if you want to see George Jett and me, uh,
You had to
him
put me on the spot, did you?
him on the cut and me on the mic at a really cool event.
Yeah.
It was one of those pro-am events, wasn't it? Like one of those.
Yeah, a pro-am
It
event.
and it was awesome. It was awesome time. I look
Yeah.
at that video and see how time flies and just how cool it was to have somebody film that. So just
Right.
thank you.
So with that movie, what you were performing was Shake the Joint. And that is my top 5 songs of all times. And this episode's going to be all about Shake the Joint. And I want to know everything about Shake the Joint from the beginnings, the humble beginnings, all the way to the end. And if there's some drama in there too, I want to hear it.
You know, you struggle, like, I guess when you write stuff or you write songs, when you're like the one kind of doing it, you're either one or two things. You're over the top ego and really arrogant about it, or you downplay it.
Okay.
And I tend to downplay for some reason some of this stuff, but I downplay it in a public setting. But deep down in my heart, I know that there is some historical precedent to that song, because it felt like there was some historical precedent to that song. And so what am I going to do? Deny it? I can't deny it. There's
Can't.
something. So the story goes, all right, so I got to South Florida. I'm originally from Chicago, and then I had um, I had I had moved to Florida in 1984. I had already known that I wanted to. I was already participating in rap battles and writing all my own stuff. Already, I was like 15, maybe 14, 15, and I had already established that I wanted to, be an MC. Even going to the breakdance days where I was, a part of a breakdance crew where I was the MC. So anybody that's familiar with the elements of hip hop, you're the MC, the DJ, graffiti artist, the breakers, the DJ, everything. I felt like my place was the vocal place, the MC place of that whole thing, right?
Right.
So um, I had I moved here in '84, and my school was MacArthur High School in Hollywood, and I was a part of like I put together a rap show because I was in chorus class at the time. I'd signed up to this chorus class, and it was cool. You learn a lot of cool stuff in chorus class, but I recommend music programs for school. But I was in this class, and then Mrs. Williams, who was our teacher, um, was looking for folks to be a part of the program or the Christmas program, and I somehow either I was volunteered or I volunteered to do a song. But they were pretty open minded to me doing a rap song. The stuff that was out at the time was like Roxanne, stuff like that. You know,
Right.
UTFO, rest in peace, Kango Kid. We just lost him. It was such an underrated and amazing group, you know, and rapper,
Right.
and, you know. But it gives you a little bit of of snapshot of the things that I was into. I was into this Northeast hip hop stuff, you know. Being from Chicago, we liked hip hop, house music, all that stuff, you know.
Right.
Um, and you know, I had a heart for hip hop or rhyming, and you know, particularly the Northeast sound, Cool J, Run DMC, you know, that kind of thing. I mean,
So
I remember the day
that's what you were listening to back in the day.
I was listening to that, Houdini, um, Nucleus, Fat Boys. I was a huge Fat Boys fan. Like,
Okay.
I can't begin to tell you. And I will say this: I was a huge Fat Boys fan, Kid, all that stuff, man.
Right.
Uh, because Fat Boys, I really liked the idea that there was a Latin dude in there, you know,
Right.
and I could identify with him. But
So
just the
back when you were in school, that you were in the chorus class, the teacher said something about rapping. You rapping.
right.
What exactly happened?
So Miss Williams she asked me to do a song. I wrote a rap song along with a guy named James, another gentleman. It was a beatbox. Drawing a blank, man. I'm so sorry, man. I mean, you're out there. If we see each other, I owe you a beer. So it was two more cats, and we were just into the hip hop thing. It was a beatbox guy out of New York, and then James from Chicago. James was kind of like an unlikely rapper because he didn't really rap, but he could rap. And if you wrote the stuff down and kind of guided him, like he wanted to do it, but so long story short, I did this rap, we rehearsed it, and we performed it in front of the entire school. So I think that's where this whole thing with me, at least accomplishing one of my goals, which was I had felt when I got to South Florida that I was going to start in my journey of like trying to become like a rap star or something, you know, like I think that's what the goal was, to like really be a hip hop star or something, or hip hop well known in that world.
Right.
So that concert gave me some legs, you know, like the whole school was there, captive audience, you know, Christmas concert. And I
And
even have a
obviously you
picture.
wrote the rap.
I wrote the rap, yeah, and then the beatbox guy did the rhythm section, and James did
Do you
the
kind of
part that we
remember?
wrote together.
Do you
No, I don't
remember?
remember any of it, but there is a picture floating
Okay.
around
All right.
of
You
that.
send me that picture.
I will. There's a picture floating around that I posted like on Throwback Thursdays, you know, on Facebook
Okay.
from time to time. You know, Skinny Breeze up there at the funniest thing I've ever seen. But I was 16, right? Something like that.
Wow.
That gave me legs. That gave me my first taste at whatever, at the whole, yeah, I could do this, you know, it's not like impossible. Like
So what led you from singing and rapping at that school show to producing Shake the Joint? Where's the connection from
So
there?
after I had met DJ Nasty, he goes under the name PP Armstrong now, right? There's a whole debacle on that one with his
Right.
name, but he is the original DJ Nasty, like dating back to '86. Him and I formed a crew or a band. You know, he's on the turntables and me on the mic, and he's like a real big part of this whole thing with Shake the Joint and everything. He was my DJ. So the way it goes, so I don't know if you want me, you know, I don't want to be long winded or sound like I'm all over the place, but I am trying to create like a picture of what happened, I guess. So the concert happens. I meet DJ Nasty. We start working on stuff together. You know, we did some demo recordings. We were spending hours in a recording studio in Hollywood. This guy had a warehouse, and I think they were called Seductive Images or something, some over the top
You
80s
sure that
name.
was a recording studio?
I know it sounds like it would be something else right now. Like, actually, I didn't even know the definition to those words. I knew the
back
definition.
back in
Didn't
the
look
day,
at it
you didn't
like
know,
I was so naive.
right?
So
Yeah, we're
I
going
was,
to
yeah, it wasn't like a
seductive
porn studio or
images.
anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, so
Well, you know,
I
me
think
with
that's
my brain.
yeah, no, my brain's right there, but back then my brain was just not even nowhere near that because of it was just being taken up by rhymes and stuff
Gotcha.
and writing. I had books full of rhymes. You know, I was that quintessential MC, battling
Right.
people, all that kind of stuff. The real meat to the whole scenario is basically the partnership between me and Nasty. And we had done shows. We were doing live shows. We were doing recordings. We were doing demos. Muhammad Moretta came into the picture somehow, either I think through Nasty, because Nasty was a DJ for Double Deuce. At that point, he had already done records with a guy named Mighty Rock, which is actually another legend from Miami. Mighty Rock, Rob Gonzalez. What's up, my brother? He's a little older than me. He had the pork pie hat, the whole leather jacket, that whole look, you know, the Adidas jumpsuit on there. Adidas, like he was like that was like anyone in the dress like that was like
It
you were
was
my
somebody.
friend, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was just you know, another Latin cat, and so it's definitely inspiring. I was a little younger, and I was just trying to cut my teeth, but me and Nasty really we were woodshedding, man.
Tell me about the beat, because this beat is so infectious. It's so good. Tell me about it.
Yeah, the beat is really like a Latin freestyle beat with a hip hop rap on it, and then it was what I had designed, and it was worked on by Claudio Barella, who had an SP 1200 at the time, and myself, and you know he was actually programming the beat based on a recording that I did prior of it. So that's how that came about. So it's in essence it's really a break beat, you know, to give you like an idea of what the beat is, a break beat bass beat with rapping on it at
Right.
125, and then the cuts are DJ Nasty. He comes in and we make room for him to scratch over stuff, and you know, the conceptualization of like using the gap band and all these other things. You know, that was done in the demo
Right.
format of it, like during the demo of it, and then we just kind of recreated it under Claudio, you know, under Debonair Records, and released it through him. So that Shake the Joint record has two sides. It has a side which is uh, it's Shake the Joint, and I believe it's like a radio edit, and then the flip side is Catch My Drift. So
Okay.
Catch My Drift is more of a mid tempo, slower hip hop style song with a bunch of samples in it, and me rapping, and Nasty also on there scratching with an instrumental. So this was all recorded at Hideaway Studios. That's where, you know, you set up shop. We went in there with the drum machine, turntables, and the vocals. Everything was done at Hideaway
A
Studios.
Hadaway.
Yeah. So the whole hey, listen up, all that stuff. It comes, you know, there was a moment there that I think if you know the song, I'd like to share this with people because I was wearing my headphones,
Okay.
and you know, I just remember listening to when I was recording the lyrics or the vocals that, you know, how do I want to hear myself on the radio? And you know, I kind of tweaked myself, my voice to kind of like sound or imagine myself coming through the speakers of a boombox or something, so that I could understand what it would sound like, conceptualize what it would sound like. And so this, voila, all that's how we get Shake the Joint.
Your unique way of rapping. Obviously, I can see the influences from like the Fat Boys, LL Cool J, some of those high. I mean, they were all basically. You guys were all almost the same age, right? Just about. I mean, you were what, 18? You said 18, 17, 18.
I was 18.
You were
I was
18. Now,
19.
right. So all of these influences, I can hear it in your voice. You know, when you rap, and then with the mastermind of Debonair Records, that beat, that fat, juicy beat, that is so. It's like you guys. I think you guys made it as far as a hit because of both of your styles. You had a very unique way of rapping from Miami, which was a little bit different. You had that influence, and then that beat from Miami just knocked it out of the ball field.
Yeah,
And I think that's why everyone knows the song.
You're right. I agree. I think just us coming together, kind of redoing the song and kind of like adding the bass and the different samples and the way that came together was just a great moment musically for
Right.
for
Now
the area.
on the club version where the breakdown is around, I don't know, like 5 minutes or something, or 4.5 minutes. That's where Nasty gets down and starts scratching. Um, there's a little sample. I heard it the other day again, and it sounds like it's saying that's nasty, and he's
Baby, that's
scratching it.
nasty. Yeah, I
What
believe
what is
that's
he
from
saying?
one
What
of
is he
the
saying?
Baby, that's nasty. I think
Baby,
that's from
that's
one of the
nasty.
Red Fox records too. By the way, like one of those, some of the stuff that maybe Two Live Crew was using.
I can just hear that part over and over again. I mean, not taking anything away from you. I'm just saying.
No, I mean I
Just
could too because it's a really cool mixtape style record. Isn't
right,
that really like why we like it? I mean, that's
right,
kind of like why I like it. The fact that I get to hear stuff that I like, like
right,
some of the songs that I like with like a beat behind it that I could
right.
relate to.
Now the song is timeless. So if I ever do a bass set while I'm DJing and the audience is a little older, a little like plus 30, 40, I'll throw it in, because if I'm in Miami, I'm playing, the DJ Laz cuts, I'm playing some Luke, I'm playing some, Scrub the Ground. I'll throw in Shake the Joint. I don't care.
You know what's funny
And
though?
and I have that version that doesn't have the scratching on. Hey, by the way, credit to DJ Nasty. He's way better than me. I give you credit. But I made a version that doesn't have the scratch. That way I can scratch on it.
It's something that we put some. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow,
Right,
it was
right,
that easy. Huh? And maybe with today's technology, it's easy, but I
right.
guess I'm just reverting back to how
You did
freaking
it.
painstaking it
Right,
was to lay that down. A lot of people don't realize we had no computers. We were
right.
using something like this. We made. This is my chance.
Huh.
We were
What do you
using
got?
something like this. Hang on.
What do you got there?
Aye.
Hey.
Yeah. Watch out.
Ah,
We were recording on this.
nice.
So everything we were doing, I mean, excuse me, there was MIDI, right? Which MIDI is what allows you to sequence stuff. But for the most, and then like actually for Shake the Joint, I'm trying to remember, the SP1200 is what was being used, right? For to with the beats. So we had all that portion in, but we still had to come out of every channel. The SP1200 had 8 channels,
Right,
and in you had to have a cable for each and going through each. It was painstaking, and then
right.
believe it or not, laying down the scratches was very painstaking. I
It's a
remember the
multi. It's
moment,
a multi take. So on that
but I
tape that you,
remember.
yeah,
Go ahead.
on that
Go ahead.
tape
I'm
that
sorry.
no, you said you remember. I'm gonna go back to that. On that's a 24. I believe that's a 24 track. That's a 2-inch tape, right?
It was 8. I think it was like 8 tracks. This is two
That's a
inch, but the
24
other one,
inch. That's 24
right? The other one
tracks.
was like 1 inch. I think we were using.
Right.
And to cover like the experience of my memory now that I'm getting my memories back about the laying down of the scratches
Uh,
was because I'm a fan of DJ stuff
right.
like anyone else. So
Well,
I'm like
the
here,
scratches was definitely laid out in multiple tracks because I can hear it. I mean, you can hear him scratching at one
but
shot,
with
and then he
Jett.
went back and added another layer. So
All
it's
right, so be the
multiple
fly on the
layers.
wall with me now. Be the fly on the wall with me at
Okay.
Hideaway Studios, right?
Yeah.
I laid down my raps, right? So part of the reason when you're in a partnership or you're in a band or you're with anyone or you're working with anyone is because you're kind of in awe of how talented they are, right?
Correct.
So that's why you're like there. So I'm like sitting here like listening to my song like come to life or something, right? Like, and then because yeah, but no one that's normal would probably think, oh, that thing is dope just because I mean, even though rappers do have that vibe, but I had done my part and it was the raps were done, and then here come the scratches and the layering of the scratches and watching the scratches and then watching my best friend, Nasty at the time, is my brother through thick and thin, man.
Right.
Like you have like no idea, like the war stories, man, we've been through, right? We
Right.
were
Right.
cool. So lay down like these scratches and then layer them and layer them, and then it was like a Nirvana type of feeling,
Yeah.
like for lack of a better, like this really high frequency feeling of excitement
Were
from.
you the youngest one in that group?
I think I didn't know that I was younger than Nasty, and
Right.
I don't know if I'm younger than Debonair, but I think I was,
You
and
probably were. Yeah.
and then so I was like some little kid,
Right.
like I mean,
Working
I
with
was
these
a little kid.
talents.
Well, just watching Nasty do his thing,
Yeah.
and like because we worked for hours and hours in different locations doing stuff, but to see him on Shake the Joint or Catch My Drift and doing all this stuff, even seeing Debonair do his thing, it was really an incredible experience.
How did it get to radio?
Okay, I gave it to DJ Laz.
DJ Laz got the tape, a record. What did you give him? I guess a record, right?
I gave him the record, and
Right.
I'm pretty sure that same night he put it in the mix. And I was driving home from work. I was working at a mall job at the Broward Mall.
You weren't like one of those security guards, right? Like Paul Bart.
Worse, bro. I was like some kind of shoe salesman. I was like working at the Wild Pair shoe store.
Hey, that's a nice shoe store.
It wasn't bad. It was a cool gig, whatever.
Okay.
I got in the car. I was driving home, and there it was on the radio on Power 96. And I don't know.
That blew your mind.
It was, dude. I don't know how to explain it. Just I had to pull off the side of the road, and like it just.
And he played it.
He was playing it, and I'm like listening to my song on the radio, and then the realization that so is the rest of South Florida, really.
They got a taste of Shake the Joint on the radio.
It blew my mind. I started to cry. Really, I was just like tearing up. Like it was just an emotional experience. I can't. Like it was just an overwhelming emotional experience.
And then what were the reviews? I'm sure. Obviously, you didn't. There was no cell phone.
There was not any.
You didn't have a cell phone. You had a beeper. I'm sure they were calling you, right?
No, all of a sudden I had an overnight fan base, and people recognized me at the mall.
Did anybody beep you and say, "Oh, dude, I just heard you on the radio"?
Man, I don't even
remember that
technology. No, people knew my mom's number, my home phone number, because I remember like after listening to it, I got home and Dad. Apparently, my family had heard it too. I just walked through the door, and like I could see my dad, just my dad. Like he was totally like, it gave me some sort of if Pops, God bless my dad. My dad is like an incredible person, and like, but he's definitely one of them old school Puerto Rican dads,
Yeah,
like he's pretty. There was this acknowledgement that because he wasn't really on board. Excuse me. He was a little worried about me being on board with that whole scene. That whole hip hop scene was kind of worrisome. He kind of, we come from Chicago, and
right.
The music usually that was relating to the urban night or hip hop, and it usually was, what it was. It's that element. So he wasn't really 100% excited about it, but when he heard it on the radio and then he saw me,
it got him a little excited. I'm sure
he got excited, and he looked at me and he said, "Man, like you made it happen. Like you took it from here to there, and like there's the sense of pride."
I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Breezy Beat and I spoke a little bit over an hour. This was a condensed version of the full interview. Please catch the film, Shake the Joint, coming up in the future. Breezy, tell us how you can be reached.
My Facebook page or Instagram, there's Breezy Beat MC on Instagram is a good way. Or you could just, Facebook me or, Breezy Beat MC, find me on Facebook. ShakeTheJoint.com. It's my own like online radio station. If you want to go on there and listen to me kind of play the old stuff and stuff I did with others,
Perfect.
That's a good way to go. ShakeTheJoint.com.
Perfect. Well, it was a pleasure speaking with you and giving us a little bit of history from Shake the Joint. I definitely want to have another conversation with you, and we will touch on the other songs that you have, because you do have some other songs, and I just wanted to keep this one because I know this one's gonna run a little long, with the history at the beginning and then to shake the joint. But I think people deserve to know more about you. And yes, absolutely, guys. Make sure you guys hit up Breezy and continuing his success. I'm gonna push him. I have a little project for him that I'm definitely gonna push, and I'll tell you what it is. I want to hear a acoustical version of "Shake the Joint."
Oh, I have the acoustic here. I could do that in a heartbeat.
I know you can.
Hey, listen up to me one time. Sure you'll agree to what this rhyme says, states what it means, the effect it makes on the hip hop scene. Breezy beat MC, that is me. Rack number one at poetry, known to have great lyric potential. Live in Miami, which is essential to be different at this thing. You'll find it interesting. Now I'm close to reaching the point, so step to the side, let me shake the joint.
Oh yes, that's a little preview of. Oh my God, you got me there, man. You got me there. I'm here tearing up, man. You see that just touches me, man.
Really?
You see what you just did there? Look at me, man. I'm fucking tearing right now. Look at this. That what you just did touches me, and that's what people want to hear. That's what you should do, guys. Make sure you guys visit Breezy. It was a pleasure.
God bless. Peace.
Take care.
Take care.